Hello everyone, welcome to Daily News Analysis of Shankar IAS Academy. Today's date is 5th of June 2024. Displayed here are the articles that we are going to discuss today. So as you can see, we have taken articles from different newspapers. So take your notes, sit back and let's get started. So first, we shall solve few previous year questions. Look at this 2018 question. This prelims question is about 9th schedule of Indian Constitution. So first, let's revise the basics and come back to this question. Firstly, what is 9th schedule? See, the 9th schedule of the Indian Constitution is a unique provision that provides your protection to laws that are placed within the Constitution. The 9th schedule was introduced by the first constitutional amendment in 1951. This amendment was primarily aimed at addressing the challenges and impediments faced by the government in implementing land reform laws, which were essential for agrarian reform and to ensure social justice. So post-independence, several laws aimed at redistributing land were struck down by the courts on the grounds of violating the fundamental rights guaranteed by the Constitution, particularly the right to property. To circumvent this judicial scrutiny and to ensure that land reform laws could not be challenged in the courts, the government led by Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru introduced the First Amendment. This amendment added Article 31B to the Constitution and created the 9th schedule. Article 31B stated that any laws placed in the 9th schedule could not be challenged in any courts on the grounds that they violated fundamental rights. Note that initially the 9th schedule contained only 13 laws. Over the time, however, the scope of the 9th schedule expanded significantly as various governments placed more laws under its protection to shield them from judicial review. By doing so, the 9th schedule became a tool to prevent certain laws from being scrutinized and potentially struck down by the judiciary. This led to a significant debate about the balance of power between the legislature and the judiciary. The expansion of the 9th schedule, apparent immunity it provided to laws within it, raised concerns about its potential misuse as it could be used to protect laws that might infringe on fundamental rights. The turning point came with the landmark judgment in the case of I.R. Coelho versus State of Tamil Nadu in 2017. In this case, the Supreme Court of India examined the scope and the extent of judicial review concerning laws placed in the 9th schedule. The Supreme Court ruled that while the Parliament has the power to place laws in the 9th schedule, such placement does not grant absolute immunity from judicial review. The court held that laws placed in the 9th schedule after April 24, 1973, which is the date of Kesavananda Bharati judgment, would be subjected to judicial review. We know that the Kesavananda Bharati case established the basic structure doctrine, which states that any amendment to the Constitution must not alter its basic structure. Thus, the court in I.R. Coelho's case ruled that if a law is placed in the 9th schedule violates the fundamental rights that form part of the basic structure of the Constitution, such law can be still reviewed and struck down by the judiciary. So in conclusion, we can say the 9th schedule remains an important tool for protecting certain laws from judicial scrutiny, especially those related to social and economic reforms. However, its use is now tempered by the judiciary's power to review and ensure that such laws do not violate the basic structure of the Constitution. So with this understanding, let us go back to the question. Look at the first statement. The Parliament of India can place a particular law in the 9th schedule of the Constitution of India. This statement is correct. However, the validity of such law can still be examined by the courts, particularly if it is alleged to violate the basic structure of the Constitution. So the second statement is incorrect. They are asking which of the statements are correct. So the correct answer is option A, one only. Next question. Regarding the taxation system of Krishnadeva, the ruler of Vijayanagara, consider the following statements. First statement, the tax rate on the land was fixed depending on the quality of land. See, the Vijayanagara rulers' prosperity can be explained by their taxing principles. During their reign, the land tax was the most important source of revenue. During the reign of Krishnadevaraya, the rate was fixed between 1/3 and 1/6 depending on the quality of land. So the first statement is correct. Second statement, private owners of workshops paid an industry's tax. See, in addition to the property tax, taxes were levied on retailers, farm servants, laborers, posters, shoemakers, singers and others. Grazing and property taxes were also levied. Moreover, commercial taxes such as levies, tariffs and custom charges were also charged on manufactured products of commerce. Private workshop owners had to pay the industry tax as well. Hence, the second statement is also correct. Here they are asking which of the statements are correct. So the answer is option C, both 1 and 2. Look at this article. The NCLT ordered insolvency proceedings against Jayaprakash Associations Limited on Monday. This JAL argued that it defaulted on debt repayments because of a cash shortage caused by the government approval delays. The Supreme Court has ruled that if there is a debt under default and a financial creditor files an application under Section 7 of the Insolvency and the Bankruptcy Code, the insolvency plea must be accepted. This is the news given here. Now in this discussion, let us understand some points about National Company Law Tribunal, that is NCLT. See, the NCLT was constituted in 2016 under the Companies Act 2013. As it was created based on the Parliamentary Act, the NCLT is a statutory body. The NCLT was formed to deal with corporate disputes that are of civil nature, like we saw in the news. The NCLT works on the lines of a normal civil court in the country. But note that it is constituted to specifically deal with civil corporate disputes arising under the Companies Act 2013. The NCLT decides the matters in accordance with principles of natural justice. Since it is performing the judicial functions, the NCLT is also a quasi-judicial authority. The NCLT has its principal bench at New Delhi. Apart from this, it also has other branches at Ahmedabad, Allahabad, Bangalore, Chandigarh, Chennai, Guwahati, Hyderabad, Kolkata and Mumbai. So with these basics, now let us see the composition of NCLT. See, the NCLT consists of a president and some other judicial and technical members. The president of the tribunal will be appointed by the central government after consultation with the Chief Justice of India. Note that the president of NCLT must be a judge of High Court for 5 years. Now coming to the members of tribunal are appointed by the central government based on the recommendations of a selection committee. So this is all about the composition. Now finally, let us see the important functions of NCLT. Firstly, the National Company Law Tribunal adjudicates the cases related to insolvency and liquidation of corporate companies. See, this role to the NCLT is mandated under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. Here note that the NCLT deals with insolvency of only corporate persons under the code. But in case of insolvency proceedings of individuals and partnership firms, it will be dealt by debt recovery tribunals. Secondly, the NCLT deals with the cases pending under Sikh Industrial Companies Special Provisions Act 1985. See, this act was enacted to detect unviable, that is Sikh companies that has potential systematic financial risk. So, if any cases filed under such act, it will be dealt by NCLT. Finally, the NCLT deals with proceedings under the Companies Act 2013, such as arbitration, arrangements, compromise, reconstruction, and winding up of the company. Note that if anyone is aggrieved by the decisions of NCLT, then they can make an appeal before the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, that is NCLAT, and the decisions of NCLAT can be appealed to the Supreme Court. So this is all about the article. With this, let us move on to the next news article. According to the news article, yesterday China's Change 6 probe successfully lifted off from the far side of Moon and has started its journey back to Earth with rock samples collected from this rarely explored terrain. This mission was launched in 2019, making China as the only country to have landed on Moon's far side, that is the South Pole Aitken Basin. This underscores China's significant advancements in space exploration. So in this context, let us quickly go through various missions that were launched to explore the far side of the moon. Now before that, we shall learn few facts about South Pole and why exploring it is crucial. See, our Earth has only one satellite, that is the moon. We call the celestial body as a satellite if it moves around the planet in the same way as the planets move around the sun. The moon moves around the Earth in about 27 days. It takes exactly the same time to complete one spin. As a result, only one side of the moon is visible to us on the Earth. In other words, the moon takes the same time to rotate about its axis as it does to circle around the Earth. The portion of the moon, which is about 60% of the moon that is visible to us, is called near side of the moon. And the other side of the moon that is not visible to us is known as far side of the moon. Remember, each side of the moon receives equal amount of sunlight. That is, the near side of the moon receives sunlight for nearly 14 days. And similarly, with the far side, it receives sunlight for 14 days. But the unique topography of the South Pole creates areas that are in permanent shadow. These areas are known as permanent shadowed region, that is PSRs. So how are they formed? See, the moon's south is located near the boundary between the near side and the far side. It is characterized by rugged terrain with high peaks and deep craters. So even if sunlight falls on the region, the crater walls block sunlight from reaching the bottom. This creates areas that are in permanent shadow. These areas are known as permanent shadowed region. So these PSRs are found in the depths of craters and depressions. Since they have been in darkness for billions of years, it is believed that they preserve ancient ice deposits. This was also confirmed by missions like NASA's Lunar Renaissance Orbiter and India's Chandrayaan-1. By leveraging the water ice and other materials found at the South Pole, future lunar bases could become self-sustaining. That is, the water ice can be mined and processed to produce drinking water, breathable oxygen, and hydrogen fuel for spacecraft. This could greatly reduce the cost and complexity of lunar exploration missions and support long-term scientific research and exploration. This is why exploring the South Pole is seen as a very crucial task. Also, studying these features can provide insights into the early history of the moon and the solar system. But the exploration of the lunar South Pole is not without challenges. Landing in South Pole is very difficult due to its difficult terrain, limited sunlight for power, extreme temperatures, communication challenges, and the unknown surface characteristics. But China's Change 4 mission achieved the historic milestone of being the first spacecraft to successfully land on the far side of the moon, specifically within the South Pole Aitken Basin. This landing occurred on January 3, 2019. The mission included a lander and a rover, which conducted scientific experiments and observations in this previously unexplored region of the moon. Following this, Chandrayaan-3 became the second mission to have soft landed on the moon. The third successful soft landing was demonstrated by the Japanese SLIM mission, that is Smart Lander for Investigating Moon mission, and US Odysseus is the fourth mission to have a soft landing. So from the exam perspective, knowing about how the Chandrayaan-3 mission differs from Chandrayaan-2 mission is very important. So let us go through that also. See, the mission architecture of both Chandrayaan-2 and 3 remain the same, but there are certain differences between the two missions. The main difference lies with the payloads. See, the Chandrayaan-2 mission consisted of Vikram lander, Pragyan rover and an orbiter, but Chandrayaan-3 consisted of a lander and a rover only, and there is no orbiter. The ISRO says that Chandrayaan-3 will use the orbiter already orbiting the moon that was launched with Chandrayaan-2 mission. So Chandrayaan-3 will use the orbiter of Chandrayaan-2 for its communications and terrain mapping requirements. The next difference lies with the onboard cameras. See, the Chandrayaan-3 lander is equipped with lander hazard detection and avoidance cameras. This will be very helpful in coordinating with the orbiter. In addition to this, the cameras will also assist in the mission control during the landing process on the surface of the moon. See, Chandrayaan-2 had just one such camera, but Chandrayaan-3 has been fitted with two such cameras. So this will help in efficient mission control during the landing process. Apart from this, the lander of Chandrayaan-3 is also fitted with additional solar panels when compared with Chandrayaan-2. This will ensure power generation no matter how it lands. The next difference lies in the endurability of the lander. See, the lander of the Chandrayaan-3 will have stronger legs than the previous version. So it will help the lander to survive a slightly higher landing speed. So that's all about far side of the moon and its missions. With this, let us move on to the next news article. Look at this article. According to a legendary story, the Mughal emperor used to send his slipper to different kingdoms, expecting the kings and their ministers to bow down before it. However, Rangakrishna Muthuvirappa Nayak refused, beat up the messengers and sent them away. He then gathered his troops and defeated the Mughal emperor's army. This article is about whether this story is true or not. So in our discussion, let us understand about Nayak rules. The Nayak rulers were prominent regional governors and kings in South India, particularly during 16th to 18th centuries, after the decline of Vijayanagara Empire. At first, Nayak rule began as a regional governors under the Vijayanagara Empire. They are tasked with administrating different regions. With the fall of Vijayanagara Empire in the late 16th century, many Nayak governors declared independence and established their own kingdoms. Now let us see the important Nayak rulers of South India. The most famous one is Madurai Nayaks. Notable rulers were Vijayanagara Nayak and Tirumalai Nayak. It was during the period of Vijayanagara Nayak, the Paleka system, which is also called as polygar system, was introduced in Tamil Nadu in 1529. Polygars were military chiefs who collected revenue and also took care of law and order. The Thirumalai Nayak Palace and the Meenakshi Temple are notable examples of architectures built under Madurai Nayakas. Next one is Tanjore Nayaks. They also promoted literature, music and the construction of grand temples such as Bragadiswara Temple. Gingee Nayaks fortified the Gingee Fort and contributed to regional stability and trade. Vellore Nayaks were also important. They managed the region with the significant military powers. Now talking about their cultural and economic contributions, the Nayaks are known for building grand temples, palaces and forts that combined Dravidian and Vijayanagara styles. They patronized Tamil and Telugu literature, music and dance, leading to cultural flourishing in their regions. Finally, talking about their decline, Maratha invasion was the main reason for the decline of Nayaks. The Tanjore Nayaks fell to the Marathas in the late 17th century. The arrival of European powers and conflict with British further weakened the Nayak states. Succession disputes and internal conflicts also contributed to their decline. So this is all about Nayakas rules. With this, let us move on to the next news article. Look at this news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi won a third term, but the BJP fell 32 seats short of a majority in the Lok Sabha, securing 292 seats with allies, while the Congress-led India bloc got 234 seats. So this is the crux of this article. In our analysis, we shall discuss the influence of AI in elections and democracy. See, this topic will come under GS paper 2. Let me read out the question. Discuss how AI can be used to solve political issues in India and what are the challenges. This question asks us to discuss the usage of AI in solving political issues. On the other hand, to enlist and discuss the challenges associated with AI in politics. So let's start with an introduction. See, elections are the cornerstones of any democratic system. It reflects the will of the people, fosters responsibility and accountability of the leaders. As we all know, humanity is in the middle of fourth industrial revolution with advanced technologies like artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, big data invading every aspect of life, business, etc. This has invaded the politico-administrative sphere, playing a major role in politics. So in our discussion, we are going to discuss the prospects and issues of AI in politics. So this can be your introduction. Here you can note that we gave a lead to the main body of the answer. Now talking about the main body of the answer, in the first part we shall talk about the significance of AI in politics. The first and foremost reason is that monitoring election fraud. See, utilizing the big data, artificial intelligence, we can scrutinize the election related data in real time and detect any signs of fraudulent activities. Know that it's capable of identifying any discrepancies like unusual patterns in voter registrations and ballot submissions, which are very crucial for maintaining the integrity of the elections. Secondly, the use of AI can in many instances lead to a cost-effective campaigning for less wealthy candidates. See, various PR's data shows inequality in spending with respect to many parties. Moreover, we know that small parties are often struggling to mobilize money. So AI-based marketing will reduce this disparity and provide a level playing field for smaller parties. Thirdly, it can be used to increase the surveillance of election process and make it a robust process. Let us see an example. In 2021, the Bihar Election Commission tied up with AI firm Staku to use the video analytics with optical character recognition, that is OCR, to analyze CCTV footages from counting booths during the Panchayat elections. Fourthly, with the use of artificial intelligence, we can enhance voter education and awareness program. See, recently, an AI-tailored deepfake video of a late Tamil Nadu politician, Mr. Karunanidhi, surfaced on the internet. Even though it is meant for political purposes, videos like this will increase the awareness of the elections and result in increased turnouts. Finally, with the AI, the parties can increase the outreach to local issues to individual voters using their local dialects. This personalization can increase political awareness and promote more informed voting decisions and ultimately benefiting the marginalized communities. So with this, we have completed the first part of the body. In the second part, we shall see about the challenges in using AI in elections. Firstly, with respect to misinformation in elections, deepfakes have been used to spread misinformation, affecting public opinion and outcomes. For example, a fake audio in the US election discouraged voting. This kind of misinformation can be often used to create communal disharmony in the society for political purposes. Secondly, AI and big data analytics could be used for increasing surveillance and curbing personal liberty. For example, the various issues like Cambridge Analytica scandal is a glaring example of using technology to suppress democracy. Thirdly, with the aim to reduce the inequality, this may actually perpetuate it. This is because the larger parties can afford to it while neglecting the smaller parties. Finally, we are facing lack of effective regulations to deal with the issues of ethical usage of AI and associated technologies. The obsolete IT Rules 2000 and IPC is inefficient to mitigate the risks of misuse and ensure transparency. So this can be your body part of the answer. Now coming to the conclusion, AI and its usage is a double-edged sword with the potential for disruption and ability to enhance democracy. We as a society should implement the measures to counteract deepfakes and misinformation and increase usage of AI for voter education, fraud detection, and increased accessibility, which can strengthen democratic processes and result in a foolproof election. So this is all about our mains answer writing practice. So with this, let us move on to the prelims practice question discussion. Consider the following statements about Nayakas rules in South India. First statement, Meenakshi temple in Madurai was built during Nayaka rule. This statement is correct. It was built during 17th century Tirumala Nayakas. Next statement, the Nayakas were feudatories to Trivandrum kingdom. This statement is incorrect because Nayakas worked under Vijayanagara Empire and they established themselves as a independent rulers after the fall of Vijayanagara. Next statement, the Nayak rule declined mainly due to invasions of Hyder Ali. This statement is also incorrect because it was declined mainly due to invasions of Marathas and not Hyder Ali. So here they are asking how many of the above statements are correct. So the answer is option A, one only. Next question, consider the following statements regarding the National Company Law Tribunal. First statement, it deals with corporate disputes that are of civil and criminal nature. This statement is incorrect because NCLT deals with corporate disputes that are of only civil in nature. Second statement, the decisions of NCLT can be directly appealed before Supreme Court. This statement is also incorrect because the decisions of NCLT can be appealed before the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, that is NCLAT. The decisions of NCLAT in turn only be appealed to Supreme Court. Next statement, it even deals with insolvency cases of corporate persons under Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. This statement is correct. Here they are asking how many of the above statements are correct. So the answer is option A, only one. With this, we come to the end of this news article discussion. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Shankar IAS Academy. Now thank you so much for watching.